Percy Jackson and the Sea of Monsters. This is Rick Riordan's book two in the Percy Jackson and the Olympians book series. I really enjoyed this. 279 pages, 20 chapters, and best described as summer camp with a Cyclops and the party ponies. So lots of fun. This is a sequel, so definitely some expectations there, right? Sequels aren't usually as good as the first book, but this one absolutely was, if not even a little bit better. So, fantasy book, young adults novel, chock full of mythology. I didn't know anything about Greek mythology, and it's just all over this book. So, main character Percy's son of Poseidon actually runs into another son of Poseidon, but they centered around Camp Half Blood, which is this summer camp for half human, half god children. And so, there's the I think the 12 major and a bunch of minor, and they all have children. And this is kind of the story of the teenage children and how they lived in a world where just yeah. So young adults book, lots of fun. The opening scene is dodgeball at school, and that gets interrupted by monsters. So of course the monsters are on the opposing side, but Annabeth actually shows up. So Tyson is in the school that Percy is for this year, and so they are kind of on the same dodgeball team. They've interacted a little bit. They're seems like they're friends, so good stuff there. And so that makes the trio, and they head to Half Blood Hill, the summer camp, and really it's struggling. They show up, and there's monsters that actually cross the line. Supposedly there's a line around the camp, and it's defended so that monsters can't get in, humans can't get in, it's surrounded by mist and all that stuff. So yeah, that's a big change. And so the theory is that the Golden Fleece can help save the camp. And so also Grover's in trouble, right? The main character had a dream in the opening scene that, he's in danger, pretending to be a Cyclops bride to delay the wedding and hope that Percy gets there in time. New activities director, and this one reinstates chariot racing because it was super dangerous, and now the victor gets a quest. So of course everybody wants to do the quest and leave camp and be the hero, do the awesome stuff. And so Percy doesn't win. The main character doesn't always win, and so I liked that. And here, it was really neat to see. He's kind of brooding, on the beach, staring at the ocean. Right? He's son of Poseidon, and another god shows up, Hermes, and is like, "Hey, my son Luke, yada yada." And hey, don't be afraid, all that good stuff. So he assembles a trio to go look for Grover, not to do the quest, but to go look for Grover. And, that's kind of where the whole story sets up and is headed in that direction. So I don't want to reveal too much, but this definitely followed the format of the first book. There was, a school, summer camp, quest, and then of course as the quest progresses, it spills over into the Kronos Titan shadow that's overshadowed the whole series. It's kind of this storyline that ties the books together, right? It's the Greek gods versus the Titans, and the Titans are trying to escape Tartarus and take over again, essentially. And then, of course, it wraps up into an ending. So really followed pretty closely. Instead of his mom was the character in trouble in the first book. So this one, Grover takes the place. And, Tyson kind of takes the place of Grover in the trio that's going and adventuring. Filled with adventures, angst, mythology, and lots of fun. So I really enjoyed this book. This has been a delightful series. Great read. I absolutely recommend it. And some more things I liked. It was a sequel. I had really low expectations. I wasn't expecting it to knock it out of the park and be just lights out. It was really good. Yeah, the trio of characters, I talked about it already. It seems to be the number three is like, a theme here. That's pretty cool. The mist, right? So humans, non half bloods or whatever, have trouble seeing. So Tyson, was this really tall, he's a baby cyclops, but to a regular human, he'd just be unusually tall. So yeah, just the mist is such an interesting concept, and I really liked it, kind of obscuring things so that regular humans or mortals don't see all of the full interactions, right? A giant thundercloud and Zeus lightning bolt might just be a regular storm to us as mortals. So chain restaurants, that was a really, really fun scene. Tyson gets some donuts and they chaos ensues. So great scene there. Um, I really like the nicknames. That kind of sold it for me, added to the atmosphere, right? You've got the wise one for Annabeth. You've got Seaweed Brain for the main character, right? That's what teenagers do. They pick on each other, they give each other nicknames. That's a very teenage thing to do. That kind of helped set the scene and the atmosphere. Really enjoyed that. And really his nemesis, right? Clarissa in the first book was kind of not necessarily a bully, but definitely like, I'm in charge and, nobody else, it's just me kind of thing. And so they definitely butted heads in the first book. So this one, they're really nemesis or rivals, and she ends up, well, I don't want to reveal anything. So they are, let's just say they are both outside of summer camp. And that's all I'll say. So read the book, you'll enjoy it. Things I didn't like, the similar format. I guess I didn't even really realize it until after it was finished. I was like, wow, that was really the same framework as the first one. So it didn't bother me while I was reading it, but when I was thinking about the book, I was like, yeah, that really seemed. But I guess if it's not broke, keep using the system that works. So yeah, I feel like Percy didn't. Like, he just handled everything so well. Like, I mean, I know he has, like, self-doubts and stuff and is frustrated at times, but, like, feel like for all of this just kind of being dropped in his lap, he really handles it really well. As a mortal, I would definitely be panicking, freaking out, like, not knowing what to do. This was, these are some big situations. But I guess they're intended to grow, and as he ages, he gets more on his plate. But, as an 11 or 12-year-old, like, potentially saving the world is a big deal, like, but I think I was just trying to figure out what I wanted to eat for lunch as an 11-year-old, so no big deal, but lots of fun. Highly recommend it, and remember to buy your books used.